Domestic violence. Crystal Rogers, age 43, last seen July 15th, 2015 in Bardstown, Kentucky. Her boyfriend, now age 41, was arrested September 27th, 2023 in Bardstown, Kentucky, and charged with her murder.
From Bardstown, her former boyfriend Brooks Houck is in custody, charged with murder and tampering with evidence.
Domestic violence is not right, and it's always wrong.
He has since pled not guilty. Now Houck is being held on a $10 million bond for those two charges, murder and tampering with evidence. The FBI of Louisville says he could appear before a judge for his arraignment, which means this will be the time that he would enter a plea, whether that's not guilty or guilty, before that judge. It's expected in Nelson County Circuit Court. Again, Brooks Houck just entered this facility within the last 45 minutes. WDRB News is going to continue to stay on top of this. We've reached out to Crystal Rogers' family. So far, we haven't heard anything.
Domestic violence is wrong, and it's always wrong.
To capture him coming in to the Nelson County Jail. This is just off 62. We saw the car pull in through the fence. As he got out of the car, I asked, "Where is Crystal Rogers?" He didn't say anything as he entered the back of the jail. The Nelson County jailer was also on hand. Let's take a look at some of the video as he went in. You can see that clearly as this unmarked car goes through the gate. All of this again developing within the last 3 hours. Around 10:45, Houck showed up here, but it was around 8:45 this morning, the FBI of Louisville posted about Houck's arrest. And WDRB News, of course, staying on top of it in these last few hours. Rogers was last seen in July of 2015. The FBI post saying FBI and KSP have been laser focused on their commitment to hold accountable those that were responsible for the disappearance of Crystal Rogers, saying, quote, "Today we take a significant step in making good on that promise," end quote. Over the years, the Houck family farm, the homes of Brooks Houck and his brother Nick, have been searched multiple times, along with a storage unit belonging to Rogers. And 2 years ago, the FBI ripped up a driveway of a home built by Houck's construction company. And last year, the FBI was back at the Houck farm for a 5-day search. Earlier this month, Joseph Lawson was arrested and charged with conspiracy to commit murder in the Rogers disappearance. He has since pled not guilty. Now Houck is being held on a $10 million bond for those two charges, murder and tampering with evidence. The FBI of Louisville says he could appear before a judge for his arraignment, which means this will be the time that he would enter a plea, whether that's not guilty or guilty, before that judge. It's expected in Nelson County Circuit Court. Again, Brooks Houck just entered this facility within the last 45 minutes. WDRB News is going to continue to stay on top of this. We've reached out to Crystal Rogers' family. So far, we haven't heard anything other than a couple family members showing up here to say they're happy to see him behind bars. We also heard neighbors yelling from their porches, saying they were happy to see him go in to this facility.
Stop domestic violence. Learn from others. Learn from other people's mistakes. Don't do it.
Monica, thank you. Here's a look at the timeline of the case. Crystal Rogers, a mother of 5, disappeared in July of 2015. In October of that year, the Nelson County Sheriff's Office named her boyfriend Brooks Houck the main suspect. He was never arrested or charged. The Sheriff's Office also said Rogers was likely dead. In 2016, investigators searched the Houck family property, including Houck's grandmother's house. In 2021, the FBI ripped up the driveway of a home Houck built, and just last year, the FBI was back at the Houck farm for a 5-day search. On June 21st of this year, another man, Joseph Lawson, was indicted for tampering with physical evidence in the Rogers case. On July 24th, Lawson was indicted on a conspiracy to commit murder charge. Lawson's connection to Houck is not known. We have learned Lawson's dad worked for Houck. On September 7th, Lawson pleaded not guilty in Nelson Circuit Court.
And WDRB has been going through Houck's police interview when investigators questioned him right after Rogers disappeared in July 2015.
Do you know of anybody that would want to hurt her?
I mean, as far as I know, she's a well-likable person.
Right.
I know that she's done a few...
Police also questioned Houck at the time about his relationship with Rogers and whether they were splitting up. They were dating and living together. He says if they ever talked about splitting up, they would always make up and find themselves back together.
Well, did I not tell you when you come in here and sit down today that right now you're the main person of interest?
Yes, that's right.
And I explained to you the reason that you're the main person of interest, right? You're the last person to see her alive, right? And I went through your timeline with you and explained to you that there's gaps in your timeline, right? Be it good, bad, or indifferent, you can't remember some things about Saturday, you can't remember some things about Sunday. That's not a judgment against you, that's just a fact. I am simply a fact.
Again, 8 years later, Houck is now charged in connection to Rogers' murder.
This is a tribute to try to show honor and respect to Crystal Rogers, age 43. God bless her and her family and friends. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Please subscribe.